West Indies cricket has always been synonymous with dominance. Powerful, fearless, and unstoppable. We remember the thunderous hooks of Viv Richards, the sheer elegance of Brian Lara, and the raw destruction of Chris Gale. But among these giants, there was a man who built his legacy with quite precision, a master tactician at the top of the order. Desmond Haynes, the silent storm, the guardian of West Indies supremacy. But his story isn't told enough. So let's uncover the brilliance of this cricket legend, whose consistency and skill laid the foundation for many of West Indies' greatest victories. Born in the heart of Barbados, Haynes had no cricketing lineage, no father who played Test cricket, no mentors guiding him from birth. But in the West Indies, cricket isn't just a sport, it's a way of life. The streets became his playground, coconut branch bats, his weapon, and neighborhood rivals, his first real challenge. The boy who picked up the bat simply because everyone around him did was about to carve out one of the greatest careers in West Indies cricket. Rising through the Barbados under-15 schools competition, his talent was undeniable. And when he made his first-class debut for Barbados in January 1977, it was clear a new star was on the horizon. Some debuts are forgettable, while others announce greatness. February 22, 1978, Haynes stepped onto the international stage in an ODI against Australia. But it wasn't just any match. It was an explosion of new talent, with 14 players making their debuts, 9 Australians and 5 West Indians, but only one man made history that day. In his first international innings, Haynes played as if he had been there for years. Calm, calculated, devastating. 148 runs of 136 balls, smashing 16 boundaries and 2 sixes. A debut so staggering that it remains the highest scored by an ODI debutant to this day. That's not just an arrival, that's a declaration. And if that wasn't enough, he backed it up with a rock-solid 61 in his Test debut, leading West Indies to an innings victory. This wasn't just promise, it was proof that a titan was in the making. In a time where the West Indies were a fortress, Haynes was its front-line defense. His domain? The Caribbean pitches. Even in a lineup featuring Viv Richards, Gordon Greenidge and Richie Richardson, Haynes' home average of 56.05 stood above the rest. And when the West Indies won at home, only the legendary Sir Garfield Sobers had contributed more runs in history. That speaks volumes, not just about his talent, but his influence. Desmond Haynes was a sculptor at the crease. Every stroke, every movement was calculated. While Greenidge tore through bowling attacks like a hurricane, Haynes was the immovable rock, absorbing pressure, wearing down bowlers, and methodically dismantling their threats. But his true genius lay in neutralizing the new ball. In an era of ferocious fast bowling, Haynes did not just survive, he dictated terms, standing tall as the front line of defense for the mighty West Indies.
Desmond Haynes, a big guy, strong guy, always on a front foot. Front foot means like really front foot. Doesn't matter, me and Bakar in 93 were bowling quick.
Few partnerships in cricket history can claim the dominance of Haynes and Greenidge. They weren't just two batsmen walking out together. They were twin gladiators, stepping into the arena, ready to dismantle any bowling attack that dared to challenge them. Together, they strode to the crease 148 times. In 89 Tests, they amassed a staggering 6,483 runs at an average of 47.32. And on one fateful day in Antigua, 1990, they forged their magnum opus, a towering 298-run partnership against England, a masterclass in both defiance and dominance. Such was their synergy that on 11 occasions, they walked back unbeaten, victorious in their stand. They were not just teammates, they were brothers in arms, an unstoppable force at the top of the order. Only one other pair, Hayden and Langer, has crossed 5,000 runs in Tests. That's how elite they were.
I got the credit because I think probably because of Gordon Greenidge being the other end. But he was a magnificent player, worked the ball at either side of the wicket, particularly the leg side.
Cricket has its strange moments, and Haynes was at the centre of one. In 1983 against India, he became only the fourth batsman in Test history to be dismissed for handling the ball. The ball deflected off his bat and pad, trickling towards the stumps. Instinctively, he reached out with his free hand and knocked it away. The Indians appealed. The umpire had no choice. Out. Haynes, unaware of the law, protested. But there was no reversing fate. A moment of instinct, a moment of history. In an era of giants, Desmond Haynes stood tall. His numbers, a testament to his enduring greatness. Over 16 years, he played 116 Test and 238 ODIs, scoring 7,487 Test runs at an average of 42.29 and 8,648 ODI runs at 41.37. Every cricketer's journey is a saga of triumphs and trials. Haynes' career unfolded in three compelling acts. 1978 to 1980, the meteoric rise. 918 runs at a staggering average of 54. 1980 to 1988, the crucible. 3,526 runs at 36.73, a phase of adaptation and resilience. 1988 to 1994, the grand resurgence. 3,043 runs at an imposing average of 47.55. And here's the kicker. 7 of his 9 centuries in this period came in matches that West Indies won, 5 of them deciding the fate of entire series. When the stakes were high, Haynes delivered, and by the time he bid farewell to the game, he had rewritten history, finishing as the highest run scorer in ODIs and holding the record for the most centuries in the format. It was no surprise when the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian hailed him as one of the greatest of all time. Legends don't fade, they exit with the final bang. March 1994, Desmond Haynes walked out for his final ODI innings. And how did he bid farewell? By hammering 115 of 112 balls against England. A warrior who began his journey with the masterclass ended it the same way, with his bat doing the talking. So, how good was Desmond Haynes? He was a technician, a fighter, a record breaker. In an era where flair often stole the spotlight, he proved that greatness doesn't always need theatrics. He was the rock that steadied a dynasty, the strategist who shaped victories, and the opener who stood undaunted against the world's fiercest bowlers. His records may be challenged, his numbers may be surpassed, but the legacy of Desmond Haynes, the silent storm of West Indies cricket, will echo for eternity. So guys, that's it for today's video. If you wish to look at how good was Gordon Greenidge and how good was Courtney Walsh, click on one of the videos being displayed on your screen. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Until next time, keep watching this beautiful game. See you soon.